Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. We are super excited to get into this interview. I am not LaDonna Marie, but no worries, you all are in good hands. I am Jade. I will be co-hosting for her tonight. Getting started right now into Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, we have special guest Joy Brown. She is a career strategist, certified life coach, international best-selling author, empowerment speaker, and entrepreneur, aka known as the Positive Energizer. How are we doing tonight, Miss Joy?
I am doing wonderful.
That's great. Please, I want to get right into it. Please tell us about yourself and about your career.
All right, thank you. It is a pleasure being with you on this inspirational talk. And again, thank you so much for my introduction. So I do call myself the Positive Energizer because with a name like Joy, I say I give joy to this world. And I have this energy that people want to bottle up and give it out. And I have this energy on a natural high. Don't drink any coffee. It's just natural. So I'm like this at 4 o'clock in the morning because I get up early. But I have over 23 years of human resource development and management experience in educating, equipping, and empowering individuals and organizations to achieve their goals and objectives. And I started my federal career as an intern, and I can say that I have truly grown up in HR. And that's what I love. That's where my gifts and talents. I am the person that will make people and organizations become better to achieve their goals. And so again, I serve as the Chief Executive Officer of 3EEE Consulting, which stands for Educate, Equip, and Empower Consulting, and Sensational Perfume Chick. I am truly blessed to walk in my gifts and talents to educate, equip, and empower others to unlock their passion, purpose, and potential.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm eager to know what inspired you to get into this line of business.
That's a great question. So it starts off when as a child, I grew up in a family that instilled in me the I can mantra. You probably be like, Joy, what is the I can mantra? So in the family that I grew up, we did not say we don't say can. I could not. We said I can, or I will try. And so having grown up with that mindset that I could do anything and achieve anything that I set my mind to, regardless of the situation, if I believe in myself, that was the starting point. And so it is with that have inspired me to be the person I am today. I watched my grandparents who did service for the community day in and day out. So having that motto, service is what I do. Service is who I am. Giving back and making a difference is joy. That's in my DNA. And so what started me on, this journey of having that motto birthed everything that I do today. Many people have careers or jobs and they're unhappy. I can say every day that I get up, I live a day of purpose. Not only from my job as a manager within the federal government, but the things I do in the community, being an empowerment speaker, being a coach, being a mentor, being an adjunct professor. Everything I do is truly about empowering and inspiring others to reach their potential and live their best life in whatever those areas are.
Wow. So is your line of work, is it difficult or would you say it's pretty easy? Because I know a lot of people, they've had that change. Well, they tried to get to where you are, where you can make it through anything, you're unstoppable. What would you say the difference is between someone that was failing to make it through those challenges and you yourself, the one that can?
That's a very good question. For me, I would say it's the mindset. And so the mindset is very key, because don't get me wrong, I've been through some stuff in my journey, honey, because like I said, I have just been promoted to an HR manager. And when I think back over these 23 years of how I started as an intern and how I showed up, and even I was a supervisor at the age of 30, supervising people who did not look like me, who I supervise people who are different, who are older than me. So you talk about having to show up, making sure that I believed in myself when others was like, who is this little younger snapper? This high energy, bounceable, energetic person now have to supervise me. So I've been through some stuff, but I think the difference in me is I know who I am and whose I am. I'm very much grounded in my faith, and I know I would not be here if it wasn't for the Lord of my life, who I have seen timelessly, especially now, of this new elevation and season that I am, how he's just orchestrated, open doors, and how I continue to walk in the gifts because I know who I am, and I know the gifts that were deposited in me growing up, and people who saw something in me when I didn't even realize it was there. So when I talk about that journey, how when I was, before I even got my master's and love speaking, people would say, hey, Joy, come with me and why don't you do this at this workshop? Little did I know those were seeds being planted in my life that they were watering. That now I look back and I am flourished because of that opportunity. So for me, it's the mindset. Life is like a roller coaster. There's some ups, there's some downs, there's some highs, there's some lows. But you got to keep going. And how you keep going is believing in a greater power, believing in there's greater. And if you know, like I know, you will get through it with God, and he will bring people in your life that will help you, pour into you, and will encourage you. So when you think you cannot do, that's when you're going to get a text to say, girl, I was thinking about you. I'm so proud of you and you can do this. Or when someone will say something, give you a hug or an encouraging word, that you will say, I can do this. And sometimes they will be right there to hold your hand to help you get to that finish line. So that to me is the difference, is having that made up mindset that no matter what, I must keep going. I must keep going. I am here for a purpose.
Wow, that is so powerful. It's really resonated with me a lot because I'm kind of the same way, really joyful. And then, people look at you like, who is this joyful person? We don't allow joy around here. Joy is forbidden. Mm-hmm. So how did you basically tune out those naysayers?
That is a very good question. I think for me, how I tuned out those naysayers is I really had to just continue to tell myself that I deserve to be here. And so I'm big on affirmation, I'm a quoter. I believe in affirmations. I speak life because I do believe there's power in what you say to you and what you let in your space. And so around me, even at work and even now that we've been virtual, there are positive things to remind me sometimes that when it gets hard, like the I am enough. And so in my journey, there have been times I'm like, well, when other people don't see you or choose not to see you or tell you what you can't do, what you won't do, you start questioning your own self. Well, maybe I need to check that. Maybe I'm not who I think I am. The devil is a lie. And so I really had to tune out those, I say, haters sometimes. And I've heard this long time ago. I let my haters be my motivators. And in my empowerment speak, I talk about muting. You know how we have a remote control for our TV and there's a mute button? Sometimes in life, I want to encourage you to get out that nice remote control and hit the mute button. Sometimes from yourself, of that self-doubt where you're trying to compare yourself to others, like, wow, I don't know if I need to do this. I'm not like her. I'm not like him. That's right. You're not. You're you. There is something that I am to do that God has called me to do. And the way I do it, no one else can do it like me. And I think that's the difference. And I have learned to be bold in who I am. And so this light I choose not to turn it down. I choose not to dim my light so others can see me. And that is what I'm saying right now in this stage of my life, how I've just seen the move of God, and I've been faithful because I walk in the gifts. I say that every single day, I walk in the gifts. I know who I am, and I let that shine. And so even with this new position I had, I show up just like this, positive and boldly and confident. But people always say, Joy, I can hear it in your voice. I can hear the passion and the conviction of what you say and how I pour into, because I'm a pourer, I'm a motivator, I'm an encourager. I bring out the best of people. I know how to lead. I know how to collaborate, to engage with people, because I want the best out of people. And so I've been able to use that. But I think that's what the difference is just believing in yourself and muting out the people who tell you what you can't do. I say, oh, you tell me I can't do it? Oh, that's my motivation to prove you wrong. Not only for them, but for myself. So I think that's my strategy.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I would love to know some of your highlights and accomplishments so far that you've had when being in this position that you're in right now.
So again, I started this journey of empowerment speaking on my birthday. And it's funny, I've always grown up, always loved speaking, public speaking in the church, in my community. Want me to talk? I'll do it. Yes, love doing that. Love facilitation. And so it was really on my birthday, which is back in April, that I called this season of my life the greater. So I just said this season is going to be greater. Did not know that was really going to be manifest because I speak. Remember, I told you I speak life. I speak out. And so calling it that, I continue to, this is the greater. This is the greater. I don't know what the greater is yet, but he knows. And so I have seen the move of God just open doors. And so not only did I do my first speaking event back in April at a women's empowerment conference, but that opened the doors for me to do the leadership experience tour, which I actually did in person. Got a chance to go to Detroit to give an empowerment message. And from that, doors have been opened. So I've been on many different summits talking about how you show up bigger and bolder in life. How do you level up and make boss moves in this world? How do you alt control delete? And I'm able to utilize my voice not only in speaking now, but now I'm a contributing author and contributing editor for a magazine. So just different opportunities have just opened up. I've been featured in multiple magazines, just sharing the story, just sharing my message. And so I'm just humbly glad to be able to impart, I say, some of this joy in the world, which I know I'm not going to keep it to myself. I'm going to spread it. Joy to me is light. Joy to me is hope. Joy is inspiration. Joy is when you think you can't. I'm going to turn on that light and say, yes, you can. And so I'm just humbly blessed to be able to do that. And I have just seen doors just open and open and open and open because how I'm showing up and I'm walking in the gifts. And I'm just so super excited that the other thing that I dreamed about a long time ago, that I'm going to receive an honorary doctorate. Now, you couldn't tell me that this was going to happen 6 months ago, but God knew. And won't he do it?
Wow, that is so powerful. So I do have a question for you. Does fear ever try to sneak in there?
Fear does sneak in oftentimes, but you can't have fear and faith. You cannot be fearful and say you have faith. So when those times, okay, can I do this? Okay, then I have to say, wait a minute, that's that negativity, that's that creeping in. You have to look back and say, okay, how are we going to figure this out? What are we going to need to do? And then I have to remind myself that I've been prepared and positioned for this. It's like this new assignment. I mean, I am stepping into almost my dream job in another week. I am so super excited. And I'm just, fearful. Nope, not fearful. Anxious. Nope, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity. And whatever the opportunity is, I'm just going to make sure that I have what I need to be successful. So what I've been doing is I've been reaching out to my community, seeing who I can have in my community. So when I'm faced with something, I know who to call. So it's almost like I'm preparing for success because I'm networking now with people who's going to be able to help me, who's already in this role in different organizations, who I can call on for a resource. So I think those is strategies. That's life successes. That's when that fear comes up, or when that self-doubt or something that creeps in, you have to say no. He would not have called me to this to set me up like this. That's not how my God works. So I already know that he's preparing me, and I look back no different than when I started my other job. You did it. You did it. So why is this any different, Joy? It's not. You've been called, you've been prepared, and there's an assignment. There is something for me to do that only I can do it at this season. And so with that, I'm going in prayerful. I'm going in just in a different mindset. And I'm going to utilize all the gifts and talents that's in me to make a difference.
Yes, ma'am. So speaking of strategies, I would like to say, firstly, I just love your confidence, and I can tell that you are like deeply rooted. What does your everyday look like when you're not working per se?
Okay. My everyday looks like I start off my day with self-care. And I have a lot of titles. All those titles you name, I can't do all of that if I don't take care of Joy. And so I am big on self-care. I am big on getting my mindset in a position to be successful. So starting off with my daily devotions, I do my whole gratitude in the morning. I read my devotions, I do my prayer, and then I have time for my self-care. So I'm big on health and fitness, So when it was warm outside, I would go outside and I would just, listen to music sometimes and just hear from God. But God will just give me some stuff in the morning that I'll have to come back here and write it down. Because that's what he do. He'll just give me something and I'll write it down, because I believe it's like he's planting that seed. And so a lot of stuff that I talk about and a lot of stuff that I want to write about, he will give it to me. And I'll be like, I'm going to come back to that. And then I resurface that. So my day starts with self-care. It's being in the right mindset, because I know in the world that I work in, it's very demanding. And remember, I have a full-time job. Like I speak and all of that. That is not my full-time job. I have a full-time job. And so with that, you have to balance it. And so in order for me to show up the joy that I need to be, I have to be centered. I have to be rooted and grounded in the person that I am. And that positivity, those affirmations, everywhere I go, it will be positive. It will be something to remind me when I need that encouragement, go look at that. That is what helps me, and that is what I keep everywhere I go, even around my house. So for me, that's important to me. And I just learned how to kind of manage, myself, because you can't change, a situation or another person, but who I can monitor and control is me and how my reaction. And I have just learned just various strategies to figure out how we can get the best result.
Yes, ma'am. Has there ever been a time where life was just rushing at you and trying to force you to be off balance and not get your routine in how you normally do?
Oh yeah, oftentimes. I'll say I kind of work in this whirlwind. That's this constant revolving circle. And it's like so much, you be like, oh, this is a lot. And with that, I just continue to just remain centered and grounded. It's almost like if you're in an argument and somebody's raising your voice at you and stuff like that, our natural reaction is what? To do the same. And so because I maybe I teach conflict, I've studied it. My second book was about conflict. I just have learned different strategies along this journey that helps me balance me. And so when the world is like, oh, going crazy, I can't be crazy because that's unproductive. I can't function like that. And so I am order, I am calm, I am peaceful. And so I collaborate. My natural tense is balance and harmony and unity. All the assessments I take, that's my natural style. So in an environment that's chaotic, I've got to not be chaotic, because that's not going to be beneficial for me. And so with that, I've just learned to figure out, let's step back, let's analyze what we can do. And then it's really a balancing out, like figuring out when this world is, everybody needs something. I can't do everything, but I can do this one thing. So what is this number one thing that must be done today? And that really is how I manage life. With all of the things that I do, I have lists galore. I got lists in paper. I got lists on the phone, because all of that helps me stay focused on what I need to do. And then when I finish up, it gets crossed off the list. And some days I don't have anything off the list because I've been in meetings all day. But it was still a productive day because it just went a different way. And then I just reprioritize the list. But I have to stay grounded and not, just going crazy and then losing control of myself, because I'm not going to be beneficial for the people I'm leading and myself. And I think I've just learned that throughout this journey.
Yes, ma'am. That's amazing. I'm definitely sensing some great problem-solving skills. I would like to know, what would you say is the biggest obstacle that you've had to face on your journey so far?
Okay. Like I said, over this journey of these 23 years, again, I applied for a job. Super excited, applied for the announcement, got the job, was in the job for about maybe close to 6 months. Then the agency was having a reorg. So we know about that, a reorg, a transformation, looking at ways to do things differently. They started looking at some of the positions. And then it got to through an analysis, said, oh, well, we have a lot of people that are higher than what they probably need to be. So we need to look at kind of the grading structure. So from that, I got downgraded. So remember I said I applied for the job, was in the job 6 months, right? But the job that I was, clearly qualified for, applied for, then was told, we're going to downgrade you, but not take away anything. Right? Y'all following the story. Like, you applied for this job, got the job. Don't take anything off the job, but you're still doing everything. But they want to then reduce your pay. All of that, going through that whole thing was really a challenging time in my life. But through that whole experience, I continued to show up. I never missed a beat. I continued to show up each and every day. I didn't go, woe is me. Why is this happening to me? I thought about it. I probably cried. I know I cried. You talk about rough. I was literally leading this. I had staff that was looking at me, knew I was being downgraded, but no one ever said, Joy, how are you doing with this? Except my boss, who was really, really coached me and mentored me during that time and really checked about me. And then I had a great support system within my family that really encouraged me. And I had the conversation with my mother to say, in the end, you know who you are. And this is no reflection on you. It's no reflection of your skill sets, Joy. And so you continue to show up every day being the person that you are, and you're going to get through this. Not only did I get through this, I've been blessed, orchestrated, everything by divine. I had great bosses who allowed me to do a detailed opportunity somewhere else. I got on a temporary assignment for about 2 years. That temporary assignment led me to a full-time job. So when I thought that I was being downgraded, God opened a door that I was able to walk in. Not only did he allow me to walk in and do extremely well, he gave me double. So when I was made permanent in this new job, check this out, y'all. The money that I was going to lose under the downgrade, God gave me double. So my salary when I got hired was more than what I left back then 2 years ago. That's a testimony in itself. But what if in that moment, in that setback, that obstacle, that I just stayed stuck and didn't show up well and had a pity party? Do you think I would have got the promotion? Do you think I would have got the opportunity to go somewhere else that opened the door for everything that I'm doing now? No. It's all in the show up. And so that's where I want to encourage people, no matter what life throws at you, And it's going to throw some curveballs, honey. I don't have this only an hour show. Honey, yes, I got more stories. But I've stayed faithful to who I am. And then when I go through things, I come back and reflect. I had to go through that. Because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have been over here. So everything that you think is a setback is really your comeback for your success. It really is. And it's a mighty test that's going to be a mighty testimony that's going to bless others. Because I'm just one witness. How the Lord gave me double for my trouble. And what I thought was a tremendous pit obstacle was a stepping stone into my greater and elevated me to where I am today.
Oh, that is powerful. Wow. That there was a mouthful, and it was honestly perfect. Anything after that, I guess I would have to say, do you have any final remarks that you would like to leave with the audience tonight?
I just want to say that I just want to encourage everyone that's listening to always believe in yourself, because it really starts with you believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how are others going to believe? If you don't think that you can do it, how am I going to think you can do it? So that's what I want to encourage people to believe in themselves. No matter what your circumstances are, no matter what your upbringing, you have the power to write the story. One of my favorite quotes is, "You are the author of your story." With that, you control the pen. You control the narrative. You control the beginning and the middle, and that means you can rewrite it, revise it, take something out, change it, do whatever you want to, because you hold the power. So I definitely want to encourage everyone to just believe in themselves. Make sure you surround yourself and connect with people who are going to help you along this journey. Open some doors, take you under their wing, mentor you, coach you. I know I wouldn't be here without those mentors and coaches who I still call today for my community that have seen me grow, have planted seeds, they have watered. So when I tell them the journey and where we are, they say, "I always knew you could do it. I saw you, and you're just beginning." And that just warms my heart, because I'm like, wow, I'm there, but I understand the assignment, and I walk in the gifts each and every day to continue to make a difference, to impact lives and change this world. Because I am the joy to the world. And I always say, my mother named me well.
Wow. Well, you heard it here, folks. We are with Miss Joy Brown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Miss Joy.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Please tell us where we can find more about you.
Yes, please, you can follow me on social media at 3EEE Consulting on Facebook and Instagram. And my website again is www.3EEEconsulting.com.
Thank you so much, Miss Joy. All right, everybody, this has been Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.
Hey everybody, it's LaDonna Marie, internationally multi-award winning author, speaker, and personal development life coach of LaDonna Marie Books, where my mission is to discover the champion in you through healing and changing a narrative in your life, one book at a time. You can shop and find out more information at www.ladonnamarie.org and check out the shop page. This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.